Hello, everybody, and welcome to Big Fish Kids Club this week.
Hello. We have got some great fun things for you this week as well.
Yeah, so we hope you've had a great week, and we're looking forward to another great week of fun here at Big Fish. And we're going to have all of our usual stuff. We're going to have a game, we're going to have a song, we're going to have some craft, we're going to have a story and a memory verse as well. Are you excited for all of those things, Elisha? They're all exciting, aren't they? Should we start off with the game? So, shall we play Animal Karate Expert this week, Beck?
Yes, we should. Shall I get rid of those names?
Yeah, we'll just get rid of those names. There we go. And then we're going to play Animal Karate. So, hopefully you know how this works. Becky is going to sort of lead the game this week, so she will tell us what to do. But basically, when she says Animal Karate, kids, do your thing. You need to choose between a giraffe, a crocodile, or a penguin. I'll then choose one, and if you choose the same as me, you're out. But don't worry, we're only going to play 3 quick rounds, then we'll sort of see. So,
let's get started because Steve's explained it all. So let's go. Okay, so Animal Karate Kids, do your thing.
Hi-ya! So come on, ready to choose. What's it going to be? The giraffe, the crocodile, or the penguin? Choose one, choose one.
Okay, so make sure you've chosen.
Yep.
Okay, Animal Karate Expert, do your thing.
Hi-ya!
Oh, that means that if you chose the crocodile as well, you'll be out. But don't worry, we've only got 2 more rounds and we will be finished very quickly. Okay, so next round. Okay, Animal Karate Kids, do your thing.
Hi-ya!
Okay, so make sure you've chosen between a giraffe, a crocodile, or a penguin. Choose which one. Stick to it. Don't change. Okay, chosen. Good. Okay, so Animal Karate Expert, do your thing.
Hi-ya! I was still deciding. I was still deciding where I was going to go for.
You weren't sure there, were you?
Penguin.
Okay, so Steve, our Animal Karate Expert, has chosen a penguin. So if you've chosen a penguin as well, you're sat down. But remember, we've only got 1 round left, so it's fine.
Yeah, so if you're still standing, if you're still going, you could be one of our winners. Last round, here we go. It's going to be tight. It's going to be close. Okay, so
Animal Karate Kids, do your thing.
Hi-ya! Which one have you chosen? The giraffe, the crocodile, or the penguin? Choose carefully. Okay, ready?
Buddy, sorry, Elisha is banging things.
No banging. Come here. So you've chosen. Stick with what you've chosen. Okay.
Okay, so Animal Karate Expert, do your thing. I was going to say.
Hi-ya!
Oh, so Steve has chosen the giraffe. So if you've chosen the giraffe, you're out. But if you chose the crocodile or the penguin this round...
Well done. And as always, as we say, let us know that you're one of our winners, and we'll give you a shout-out next week if you do let us know, and you're happy for us to do that. Yeah. We love to hear how well you've got on and how well you're enjoying all of the different things with Big Fish. Equally, send us pictures of your craft, things like that. Yeah, we love to know all that's going on and how much you're enjoying it. Yeah. So mentioning the craft and pictures and that, you need to let people know what craft we've got coming.
Yes, I do. Okay, so it's a slightly more complicated craft this week. So the things you will need are some card, some tissue paper. So they're orange, red, goldy colours, those kind of colours of tissue paper. You need some lollipop sticks or some cardboard from a cereal box, that kind of thing. A pen and some glue. If you don't have glue, you can use sellotape. Glue can be messy. I'm aware of that. Use sellotape if you don't want to use glue. That's fine.
Okay, so hopefully you've got a note of all of those things if you didn't see the post that went out on Tuesday. But right now, what we're going to do is we're going to do our song. So everybody up on your feet, get yourself stretched out, ready to go, shake yourselves out, give your mouth a bit of a warm-up, because we're going to sing a great song this week. And I want you to do the best singing you can. I want to be able to hear you from my house when I'm doing Big Fish. So I want you to hear you singing as loud as you can. I want to see the best actions you can, do some great actions, some great singing, as we're going to sing a great song called Jesus Superhero. So here we go.
The eyes of a man who had always been blind. Went to a wedding and turned all the water into wine. Who told his friends where to fish so they could fill their nets. He even then walked on the water but didn't even who can save the world. Only one who can save the world. Who made a feast out of just a bit of fish and bread? Healed a man even though he was already dead. Silenced the wind and the waves for all to see. Stop! And then died on the cross and came alive so that I could be free. Yeah! He's Jesus superhero. Jesus superhero. Jesus superhero. The only one who can save the world. Only one who can save the world. And when I'm scared, I know he's there for me. Just call to him to come and rescue me. Yeah, when I'm scared, I know he's there for me. Just call to him to come and rescue me. Come and rescue me. Yeah, 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 yeah. Superhero, Jesus superhero, Jesus superhero. He's the only one who can save the world. It's Jesus superhero, Jesus superhero, Jesus superhero. And he's the only one who can save the world. It's Jesus superhero, Jesus superhero, Jesus superhero. Save the world, only one who can save the world, and the only one who can save the world is the only one who can save the world.
Hiya there, Luke. How have you been this week?
I've been okay, Steve. I'm a bit tired, though.
Oh, why are you tired, Luke? What's wrong?
I'm just tired.
Just tired. Just tired.
Yeah.
Well, Luke, even though you're tired, do you think you can remember what our promise was about last week? Can you remember what the story was last week? Remember,
David.
That's right. Yeah, I did my painting, didn't I, to talk about how David was chosen by God to be king. But can you remember the promise that God gave to David as well?
He said he would be with him.
That's right. He said he was going to be with him through all of his life. And actually, he makes that promise to anybody who turns and puts their trust in him as well.
Yeah. And we said, didn't we, that sometimes that sounds a little bit scary because, well, God knows all the different things that we do. But God loves us, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's it. God loves us, and actually he wants what's best for us. And so actually, the thing is that even though he knows all of those things, he loves and cares for us and wants us to be part of his family.
Oh, that sounds good.
But, Luke, in fact, actually, that follows on to our story this week.
Really?
Yeah, because our story this week is actually a bit different. It's not a Bible story this week.
But you normally do Bible stories,
I know we
Steve.
normally do Bible stories. This isn't a Bible story, though. It's not just any old story, though, that I decided to pick out this week. This is a story that's not from the Bible, but helps us to understand what the Bible is saying to us.
Ooh.
Because sometimes the Bible can be a bit confusing, can't it? And we struggle to understand what it's saying.
Is that like the stories Jesus told?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because Jesus told things called parables, didn't we? And we've looked at some of those over the different weeks in Big Fish, like the lost sheep and the prodigal son and things like that. We've looked at some of the stories that Jesus told. And this is a bit like that. Yeah, it's a story about things that we understand to help us to understand what the Bible's saying.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Because you see, what Jesus promises, I said, with us being part of his family, is that actually, he says that we can't be part of his family when we've got things that are wrong in our lives. So actually, he's going to come in, clean us up on the inside, make us brand new, and then we can be his and be part of his family.
Ooh, that sounds good.
But it's a bit confusing, isn't it? Because it's like, is he going to come like down our mouths and like scrub with a scrubbing brush?
No, or some soap. Soap doesn't. Soap doesn't taste very nice, does it,
you should
Steve?
never ever eat anything like that, because that's not
Yeah.
what God means. God means that He's going to do something amazing and incredible in our lives. And actually, this story, all about a girl called Mary Ann, is going to help us to understand that.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Okay, so, well, Luke, why don't you get settled in your bunk? Make sure you don't fall asleep, though. I know you're tired, but you've got to stay awake for this one, because this is going to be exciting. And settle down in your bunk and listen up, and then we'll get you back next week to see what you remember about the story. That sound good?
Okay, yeah, that sounds
You going to
good.
say goodbye to everybody?
Bye.
Okay, so as Luke goes and gets himself settled down in his bunk, I encourage you to get yourself nice and comfy and settled as well for our great story this week, all about a girl called Mary. Now, as we said before, this week's story isn't actually a Bible story. The first time on our Big Fish Live Kids Club, we haven't done a Bible story. But it's not just any old story I decided to do this week. This is a story that helps us to understand and explain things from the Bible. And our story this week is all about a girl called Mary Ann. Now, if you know someone called Mary Ann, it's not that Mary Ann, it's a different Mary Ann than that Mary Ann. This Mary Ann was at home on a Saturday morning. The rain was pouring down outside, and her mum realized she needed to pop down the shops to get something for lunch. And she said to Mary Ann, it's really pouring down with rain outside. I need to pop down to the shops, but actually, I don't want you to get soaking wet as well. Your dad's out working in the shed, doing some stuff there, so it's okay, he's here as well, but I'm going to leave you here in the house, and whilst I pop down the shops, you just lie down on the sofa, watch some TV, and I'll be back in a little bit. But if anybody knocks on the door, don't answer it unless you know it's me. Wise advice there from her mum. And so off popped her mum down to the shops, and Mary Ann lay down on the sofa thinking, oh, it was a good idea from Mum. I am feeling rather tired. I'll just watch some TV. And as Mary Ann lay there on the sofa, suddenly she heard a on the door. Oh, who's that, she thought. She forgot all about what her mum had said about not answering the door to anyone apart from her mum. Mary Ann jumped up from the sofa, she rushed out, and she opened the front door nice and wide. But when she opened the front door, she didn't see a person standing there on the doorstep. In fact, she saw something rather strange. There on the doorstep was a great, big, black bag. She thought, that's odd. But then, even more strange, the black bag spoke to her. It said, oh, hello, Mary Ann. I'm Bad Thoughts. And I've been visiting all the boys and girls in that street, and I've been visiting all the boys and girls in that street, and I've been visiting all the boys and girls in your street. And today is your lucky or unlucky day, because I'm going to visit your house, and I'm going to come into your house, and I'm going to pour my black bag of bad thoughts all over your house. No, you're not, said Mary Ann. You're not going to come into my house. Oh, you see, that's where you're wrong, dear. We don't need to be invited in. We just need an open door, and in I come. And with that, the black bag called Bad Thoughts pushed past Mary Ann rather rudely into her house and started to throw rubbish all over the floor. All rubbish of bad thoughts. He went all the way through the downstairs of the house, all the way through the upstairs, through Mary Ann's bedroom, Mum and Dad's bedroom, her brother's bedroom. He poured the rubbish all over the house and eventually went back down into the living room, sat down on the sofa, and was done. Mary Ann looked around at all the rubbish that was all over the place. She tried to gather some of it up, but there was just too much of it. She tried to grab hold of Bad Thoughts and drag him out of the house or push him out of the house. But no matter what Mary Ann did, she couldn't get rid of Bad Thoughts by herself. What am I going to do, she thought. And just as she was thinking that, there was suddenly another knocking on the door. Mary Ann hadn't learned her lesson. She still wasn't doing what her mum had told her to do and not answering the door. She rushed out, she opened the door, and this time again, it wasn't a person on the door. It wasn't a black bag. It wasn't even a mouse. But there, on the doorstep, was a huge, ginormous fountain pen. And the fountain pen spoke to Mary Ann. He said, oh, hello, darling. My name is Bad Words, and I've been visiting all the boys and girls in that street, and I've been visiting all the boys and girls in that street, and I've been visiting all the boys and girls in your street, and today is your lucky or unlucky day, because I'm going to come into your house, and I'm going to write bad words all over the walls. No, you're not, said Mary Ann. You're not going to come into my house. Oh, no, dear. You see, that's where you're wrong. We don't need to be invited in. We just need an open door, and in we come. And with that, Bad Words pushed rather rudely past Marianne straight into the house and started to write bad words all over the walls. You see, boys and girls, Marianne was really, really embarrassed. Because you see, some of these words that Bad Words was writing on the wall, well, actually, Marianne had heard some people saying these things in the playground. And actually, even worse than that, Marianne had actually said some of these words. Now, her mum and dad didn't know, her teachers didn't know, but now they were there on the wall for everyone to see. She tried to grab a scrubbing brush, she tried to scrub it off, but no matter what she tried, she couldn't get rid of the bad words that were all over the walls. And bad words had gone right the way throughout the house, just like bad thoughts, and written bad words all through the downstairs, all through the upstairs, everywhere. And only once every single bit of wall was covered did bad words go and join bad thoughts on the sofa and just flop there and stay there. Marianne went and she tried to roll bad thoughts and bad words out of the house. She tried to get rid of them, but there was no way that Marianne could get rid of bad thoughts and bad words by herself. What am I going to do? She thought, Mum's going to be back soon. There's rubbish everywhere. There's all these words over the wall. What am I going to do? And suddenly there was a on the door. Marianne still hadn't learned her lesson. She still wasn't listening to what her mum had told her to do. She rushed out. She opened the door, and there, on the doorstep, was a smelly old green boot with the sole hanging off and some nails sticking out. It was really dirty and ucky and messy. It was really rather disgusting. And as she looked down at it, it said, "Hello, dear, I'm down here, and my name's Bad Deeds. And I've been visiting all the boys and girls in that street, and I've been visiting all the boys and girls in that street. And today, I'm visiting all the boys and girls in your street. And today is your lucky or unlucky day. Because I'm going to come in and I'm going to smash up everything nice in your house. I'm going to break it so that it is no longer any good and it is no longer nice at all." "No, you're not," said Marianne. "Bad thoughts has already pushed his way in and bad words has already pushed his way in. There's no way you're going to come in, Bad Deeds, and mess up my house." "Oh, you see, dear, that's where you're wrong. We don't need to be invited and we just come in anyway." And with that, Bad Deeds pushed rudely past Marianne into the house and started to smash all of the really nice things in the house. All of the things that she thought were really nice, all of the things that Mum and Dad thought were really nice, all of the things that her brother thought were really nice. And Marianne was rushing around trying to stop him, but there was nothing that she could do. And only once Bad Deeds had gone right the way throughout the whole house and smashed up everything nice did he go and join bad thoughts and bad words on the sofa. And Marianne tried to grab hold of him. She tried to pull, she tried to push, she tried to roll. She tried everything she could to get rid of Bad Deeds, but there was no way that Marianne could get rid of Bad Deeds by herself. Marianne looked around the house at all of the rubbish that had been thrown everywhere by bad thoughts. She looked around at all the words that had been written all over the walls by bad words. She looked at everything that had been smashed up by bad deeds. And Marianne went and she sat on the stairs. She put her head in her hands and she began to cry. She didn't know what to do. She didn't know how on earth she was going to sort this out by herself. And because she was crying, Marianne didn't hear the next knocking. It was different to the other knocks. It didn't get louder. It didn't get quieter. It just kept going. Whereas the knocks from bad thoughts, bad words, and bad deeds, they were quite sort of angry, aggressive knocks. Well, this, I don't know if you can get a knock like this, but this was a friendly knock. And it just kept going. But as I said, Marianne didn't hear it because, well, she was crying. But eventually, Marianne stopped crying and she heard the knocking on the door. She thought, well, what am I going to do? I can't go and open the door again. I've already let in bad thoughts, bad words, and bad deeds. What else bad is going to happen? It's just going to get worse. What can I do? But the knocking just kept going. Marianne didn't know what to do. And she thought, oh, I know. What about if I sneak across really quietly? I'll lift up the letterbox flap. I'll look out. If it's somebody bad, they can stay outside. But if it's somebody okay, I can let them in. So Marianne did just that. She crept as quietly as she could. She lifted up the letterbox flap. And outside, on the doorstep, was the largest and brightest candle that Marianne had ever seen, shining really, really brightly on her doorstep. And then the candle spoke to her. He said, Marianne, please will you let me into your house? I can sort out everything that's wrong. Marianne said, well, I don't know what to do. I can't let you in. I've already let in bad thoughts, bad words, and bad deeds. I don't know what to do. She said, what are you called? And the candle said something strange. He said, I've been known by many names, but now I'm known as the light of the world. As soon as he said those words, the light of the world, suddenly bad thoughts, bad words, and bad deeds all woke up and they said, no, Marianne, no, don't let him in. He'll spoil all the fun that we can give you. Fun? From bad thoughts, bad words, and bad deeds? There's no fun from them, are there? They just come in and mess everything up. The candle said, please, Marianne, I'm the light of the world. Let me in, and I can sort out everything in the house. Please. There'd be no please from bad thoughts, bad words, and bad deeds, had there? But that's what the light of the world was saying, this candle. Well, Marianne thought, I don't know what to do. She thought, well, I guess I got to give it a try. So she opened up the door. She said, please come in. And with that, as the candle sort of hopped over the doorstep, suddenly, bad thoughts, bad words, and bad deeds, meow, 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 they shot out of the house as fast as you could possibly imagine. And a great big smile started to spread over Marianne's face, because suddenly she realized that as the candle's light shone so brightly throughout the house, all of the rubbish from bad thoughts was gone. All of the words that had been written on the walls by bad words was disappeared. And everything that had been broken by bad deeds was fixed. And it looked even better than it had before. The candle had come in and everything was sorted. And then suddenly there was another knocking on the door. And this one got louder and louder and louder and louder until, Marianne woke up. Boys and girls, Marianne had been asleep on the sofa in front of the TV. All of this about bad thoughts, bad words, and bad deeds, and about the light of the world had been a dream. She realized who was at the door. It was her mum. She rushed out. She checked first. It was her mum. She opened up the door. And as her mum started to step in, she said, Mum, I had a really bad dream. It was so horrible. There was all these different things. There was bad thoughts. And her mum said, Marianne, calm down. Slow down. Let me make a cup of tea. We can sit down in the living room together, and you can tell me all about it. And so as they sat down, Marianne started to explain. She said, Mum, there was a black bag called Bad Thoughts, and he came in and he threw his rubbish all over the house. And then along came a pen called Bad Words, and he wrote bad and naughty words all over the walls. And then there was an old mucky boot called Bad Deeds, and he came in and he did lots of naughty things and he smashed everything up that was nice in our house. But then, Mum, there was this candle who said that he's known by many names, but now he's known as the light of the world. And when he came in, he sorted everything out. He made it so that all of the bad thoughts, bad words, and bad deeds had gone. And Marianne's mum was a wise mum, because mums are great, aren't they? And they're great and they know wise and amazing things. And Marianne's mum said, Marianne, that house in your dream wasn't just any ordinary house. The house in your dream was actually the house of your life. The house in your dream was actually, well, you. And you know, Marianne, don't you, that when bad thoughts, bad words, and bad deeds come into our lives, they mess everything up, just like they messed everything up in the house in your dream. And Marianne, the candle that said that he's known by many names, but now he's known as the light of the world. Well, the name that we normally know him by is, well, Jesus. And Jesus actually came because he knew that we couldn't sort out bad thoughts, bad words, and bad deeds by ourselves. That he came, and he's the only one who's ever lived on this earth without having any bad thoughts, bad words, or bad deeds. And actually, because he lived that perfect life, he was then able at the end of his life to go and die on a cross to sort out our bad thoughts, bad words, and bad deeds. You see, he took all of those upon himself when he died on that cross, so that if we invite him into our house, into our lives, just like you invited the candle into the house, if we invite him into our lives, say we're sorry for our bad thoughts, bad words, and bad deeds, he'll come into our lives, and just like in your dream, he'll clean everything up. He'll make everything fine, and he'll make it better than it was before. And he does that so that then we can become part of his family and one day get to be with him forever. Well, that night, before going to sleep, Mary Ann knelt down by the side of her bed, and she said, Jesus, I'm really sorry for all of the bad thoughts, the bad words, and the bad deeds that have come into my life. Jesus, will you please come into my life? Will you shine your light inside my life and clean me up from the inside out? Make me brand new, just like you did in the house in my dreams. And will you make me part of your family so I can be with you forever? And you know, the amazing thing is the Bible tells us that anybody who does that, anybody who says, Jesus, I want to give my life to you, I'm sorry for all the things I've done that are wrong, then actually Jesus doesn't say, no, I'm not going to do it. Jesus will always come in, clean up our lives, make us brand new, make us his, and allow us one day to get to be with him in heaven forever. And so I want to encourage you, as we've often sort of said, like, if you hear these stories about from me and Becky, you're thinking, well, Steve, you keep talking about how I can ask Jesus into my life, how he can clean me up and sort things out. Well, I don't know what I need to do. Then always just message us, and we would love to tell you more about how you can become part of Jesus' family and one day get to be with him forever. So that's a great story about Mary Ann that just helps us to understand what the Bible says when Jesus says he wants to come in and clean us up on the inside and give us a brand new life with him forever. Well, I hope that you enjoyed that story today. And now it's time for us to do our prayer. So you know, as always, we do our prayer slightly differently in Big Fish. We've got to put our hands on our shoulders like this. When I say one, you put your hands out like this. When I say two, cross your arms like this. When I say three, close your eyes, bow your heads. I'll pray. Then I'll say amen. Then I'll say four. And everyone sat up nice and straight, ready for the next bit of Big Fish today. So hands on shoulders, ready to go. Here we go. One. Oh, you need to be quicker than that. You need to be really, really sharp. Ready to go. Here we go. One person might be the one that lets everybody down. So you need to be ready. Ready. Okay. Ready. Here we go. Here we go. One. That's good. Two. Three. God, I thank you so, so much that even though we have bad thoughts, bad words, and bad deeds in our life, you still want to know us. You still want us to be part of your family. God, I thank you that you came to die on that cross to take away our bad thoughts, our bad words, and bad deeds, if we were just willing to say we were sorry and invite you into our lives and say we want to live for you. God, I pray that you help us to understand what that means. Help us to know that and to do that for ourselves, to know that we are part of your family and will one day be with you forever. God, I pray we all have a great week and you bring us all back safely again to Big Fish next week to learn even more about you. Amen. 4. Sat up nice and straight. So get yourselves ready because now we're going to be moving along to the craft. And I know that Becky has an amazing craft for you this week. So let's see what it is.
Hi everyone, wasn't that such a great story that Steve just told about Mary Ann and about how Jesus is the light of the world? And that reminds me about our memory verse. If I just stick that up by here. So the memory verse is something that Jesus said. It says, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. And that is in John chapter 8, verse 12. Okay, that's our memory verse for this week. So if I go back to the main section. Okay, so we are going to make something that looks a little bit like this. So you can use cardboard rather than lollipop sticks. It's just that I had craft sticks available to use. So you can use PVA glue or you can use sellotape. You might find sellotape easier actually, but let's start. So if I take that one by there and this one by here. So I'm going to put a little bit. You don't need lots of glue. The more glue you put on, the longer it will take to dry. So a little bit of glue at the ends. And then I'm going to put that one over the top and that one by there. By there. And I'll take another one from over here. What you guys haven't seen is before we started is Elisha took one of these and just went snap. So yeah, you went snap. Yeah, but we don't want it to snap, do we? We want to keep them whole because when they snap, they've got splinters. Right. Snap. Tell me. Okay. So that was very high pitched then, bud. Right. So what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to make a square with a triangle over the top of it like this, okay? So if you're using sellotape rather than glue, you just want to basically just put it over the corners and wrap it around both sides. If you've used glue, what you're going to want to do is leave the frame alone until it dries, okay? Leave it alone until it dries. Which I know is a very difficult thing to do because you just want to use it straight away, but the frame is very flimsy when there's just glue on it because if it's not dried yet, it's not ready to move. So what I'm going to do is I'm very carefully going to slide it out of the way and we're going to make a candle. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to cut it in half because it just needs to be a very thin candle. And I'm probably going to cut a bit off as well. So put that to one side. So what you want to do is you want to make sure your candle's about the right size to go in your frame, like that. You okay there, buddy? Oh, don't tip the chair. And then we're going to take our tissue paper. So this is what the tissue paper is for. I've got some gold and some yellow and some red. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one. Okay, I'm going to put that. So I'm going to stick this on by here. Oh, buddy, don't tip them on the floor, please. And then, you okay?
We go down.
We don't use them as a toothbrush, no. Just eat your snack, okay? Right.
Go.
Snap, yes, you went snap. I think Elisha finds himself very funny. Yes, as you can see. Whoa, that's a bit loud, buddy. Okay, and then I'm going to take some red. Those nice crisps, are they? Okay. You went snap. Yes, you did go snap. And I'm going to put some red over the top as well. So we have a candle with a little flame on it. But obviously we're doing it with paper because fire is not something you should ever play with. Right, so the candle has been made. So we're going to stick that to our frame. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue by here. Yes, I heard you. Don't do that, please, buddy. Don't do that because you'll hurt Mummy. Right. I'm going to put my candle in by here. I'm just going to cut that bit off. There we go. You're on my foot, are you? Right, and then I've got this other little bit of card that I've got left, and that's why we needed the pen. So, yes, that's usually where we see candles, is when it's someone's birthday. So what we're going to write on our sign is Jesus is the light. of...
Nah.
Yes, but you did go snap. Of the...
Sorry.
Okay, buddy. It's all right. Right, so
Snap.
we've made our sign. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop our sign just above here. So as I said before, you can do all of this with sellotape rather than using glue, depending on what you've got at home. You might want to use sellotape anyway because it's easier and it doesn't get things sticky. But there we go. There we go. So, and I think I can just about pick up my one from earlier. So this, I'm not going to pick up the one I've just done because I've only just glued it. But this one is one I made earlier. I haven't got the sign on this one, but it does have our candle, and this can go on door handles or that kind of thing, or you can add a little bit of string. You might even want to put it on your Christmas tree or something like that, because it reminds us that Christmas is about Jesus and how he is the light of the world. So that is our craft for this week. It's a little bit fiddly, but it looks really good.
Yeah, it looks fantastic, doesn't it? So we hope that you've enjoyed Big Fish this week, and that what we were writing on there, obviously, as well, was the memory verse, and there's going to be a great reminder of that memory verse. And when's that coming back?
Monday.
Luke will be having that reminder video going out on Monday, and on Sunday we'll have our story recap video going up, and next week we'll have another video from one of the stories we filmed before on a Tuesday for you to enjoy just during the week, and then we'll be back.
Bye.
I haven't finished telling them things yet. Then we'll be back next Thursday for Big Fish Kids Club. But we hope you've had a great week this week. We hope you have a great week in the coming week. And we look forward to seeing you next Thursday. So, you going to say it now?
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you next week.